Hello and welcome to another Facebook Live. It's really good that you're with us today on Facebook. If you're coming in live, hello and welcome. And also if you're watching the replay, thank you for spending time with us. My name's Craig. I'm from the website mansioningles.com and the podcast inglespodcast.com. And with me, someone I haven't seen for a few weeks. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah, it's a long time.
How are you?
I'm fine. Oh, okay. Great to see you too. My name is Mónica, and I am the author of Blog de Inglés, or Blog del Inglés, or Blog para Aprender Inglés. There are two blogs, no? And you can find lots of free resources in these pages. Okay. So, what's the topic for today?
The topic for today is going to be silent letters, because we thought it's been a long time since we've looked at pronunciation, English pronunciation. Most of the people watching this will be Spanish speakers or maybe some Portuguese speakers. So hopefully we can help you today with looking at some silent letters so that you don't pronounce those silent letters when you're speaking English. So yes.
No, I wanted to say that it's something very strange for a Spanish speaker. I remember, because in Spanish, we hardly have any silent letters. There's only H. As far as I remember, I think the letter H is silent. But that's about it. And so...
You're really lucky. And that's one thing I love about Spanish, because you say the words like you spell them.
Exactly.
I just read the word. And even though with my British accent, I can make myself understood, but that's not true with English, because we've taken English words from French and from many other languages, and it makes it quite complicated. Let's say hi to people who are joining us. Hema's here. Hi, Hema. Thanks for coming back.
The first one to say hi to. Yeah. Thank you very much for coming, as always.
Juan Lu's here. Hi, Aldo, Erika. Hello. Someone whose name I can't read because I think it's in Arabic, but thank you for being here. What's your name? If you can hear me, what's your name? Because I can't read it. And Margaret and Patty is joining us. Chris is here, and Yanette and Minia. Lovely to see so many people with us live on Facebook. So let's start, Monica. What's the first group of silent letters?
Okay. No, at first I wanted to say something, that perhaps there are some people in the audience that never thought that there were silent letters, because it's something very strange. So you think, what? Silent letters? Yes. And in English, there are many words that have silent letters, letras mudas. So letters that you don't pronounce. And it's not a surprise. And when you find this out, it makes it easier for you to understand why they sound so strangely. And it's basically because you just skip letters. It's like, instead of reading all the letters, there are certain letters that disappear. They are there, but you don't say them. And Craig has organized a list with letters that are missing. And for almost every letter of the alphabet, well, no, not every letter, but half of the alphabet is here.
Yeah, quite a few. They're in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
And yeah, it must be, I mean, you must be thinking, why are those letters in the word, but they're not pronounced? That's a very good question. And I don't have an answer for you, but let's go to the word.
But there's I was reading about it. I was reading because when you sent me this topic, I thought, why do they have that? And sometimes there are many reasons. One of the main reasons is because English is made of many languages. So you have words that come from French. And so I think it was a spontaneous generation of sounds, combining French with English, with German, with Norwegian, at the end you have a very strange sound. But one of the reasons is that sometimes the silent letters, depends on the word, of course, helps to pronounce the word, to distinguish it from another word. For example, suppose the word in, double N and only one N. So there will be a silent letter. I don't know. You just put two letters so that you know that it's different from in, though one of them is silent. From in the posada, una posada, in de entrar, de dentro, no? One has a double N, that's an example, no? Sometimes you have that situation, and the silent letter helps you to pronounce the word, to distinguish two words, let's say, two different words that have different meaning, for example. Okay, but there are many reasons, not only one reason. Okay, now here we have the first one with letter B. So we say bomb, bomba. Instead of saying the B is not pronounced, the last B. The next one, climb, ends with M, not with B. Funny. Trepar, to climb, no? I like climbing the mountains. So climb. Debt, funny word, debt. Without the B, a debt is una deuda, but we don't pronounce the letter B. So debt, it's like D-E-T, debt. Similar word, same origin probably. Doubt, doubt. I have many doubts. I don't pronounce the letter B. And then, this is a funny one, subtle, sutil, subtle. That's very subtle, but I don't say B. The B disappears in this sound, okay? Any comments do you want to make about all these examples, Craig?
No, I think you've explained them very, very well. Just one thing about the word doubt. Sometimes I hear it used not quite correctly by Spanish speakers. No tengo duda. In English, I would not say, o tengo duda, I would not translate as I have a doubt. I would say I'm not sure. And I often hear that mistranslated, that word doubt. So, tengo duda. My students say, Craig, I have a doubt, and it sounds strange to me. I understand the meaning, but I would say, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. And can you give an example of when you would use I have a doubt?
Do you know when you're going to receive the vaccination for COVID?
Mm-hmm. No,
Do you know
I don't know yet. No.
So you're not sure?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yes. But the use my students have is when they have a question about English. This word D-E-B-T, Craig, I have a doubt how to pronounce it. I would say
I'm not sure. Yeah, I know. But can you give me one example? I understood perfectly well what you mean. But can you give me one example of a good use of the word doubt?
I'm thinking of traveling. I'd love to travel in March this year, but I doubt if it will be safe to travel.
Okay.
I doubt if I will have received the vaccine by March.
Yeah. Okay.
I doubt it.
But it's very difficult because there you could also say I'm not sure.
Yes, you can.
It is possible to say I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I'm asking, because there is a nuance there. When you don't know the spelling, you would say I'm not sure. But when you're talking about a decision, you're doubting because you have a decision that you have to make a decision and you're not sure, then you say I have a doubt about this. But you could also say I'm not sure. That's a problem.
Minia is saying, well, as a verb. Well, yeah, kind of, Minia, but it sounds strange to me because it's used as a noun by Spanish speakers when they say, I have a doubt.
Yeah,
but also, in the same situation, si no estás seguro de algo en inglés, I would not say, I doubt what to say, or I would not use it as a verb either. In that context, I would say I'm not sure how to say this word. I'm not sure how to pronounce this word.
Yeah, I would like to check more examples, see if I can get it.
So let's say hello to more people who have joined us. Lovely to see so many people here. Christine is back again. Hi, Christine. Francisco, Renee, Fatima, hello. Susanna. Lovely to see so many people.
And somebody was saying, somebody gave an opinion about the silent letter. It says, Renee says, I would say you don't pronounce them because it's a bit easier, like aisle. I don't know if it is easier. It makes it more complicated because you say, what do I do with the letter S? Or like island, the word island.
Yeah, sometimes I hear Island. Yeah, it's island. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it is easier, especially if you're a Spanish speaker, because
it's not easier.
You say the word as you read it.
Yeah.
But that's not true with English. That's not always true.
I don't know if it is easier. I think it makes it more complicated. The opposite. Yeah. Exactly. Okay, now let's go for the second round.
Let's go to the C's. So we've done the B's. Here are some examples of a silent C in some words. For example, the first word is conscience. I have a conscience about something. Or if I eat too much chocolate, I have a guilty conscience. Or if I do something bad or something naughty, I have a guilty conscience. So it's almost like an SH sound in the middle. It's a sh, conscience. That's how I say it, conscience. Second word, fascinate. So the S is pronounced, but the C is silent. Fascinate. It's a fascinating conversation. It's a fascinating piece of science, for example. The next word is something I don't have very much of anymore. Muscles. Muscle. Muscle. That second, the first vowel sound is a, so ma, like up. And the second vowel sound is muscle. Muscles. The next one, scissors. Scissors. So the first vowel sound is I, si, and the second vowel sound is scissors. Scissors. What's scissors in Spanish, Mónica?
Tijeras.
Tijeras. Scissors. And the final word to go down, descend. Another silent C, descend. So descend is go down, and the opposite is ascend. To go up is ascend, and
but that is more
down.
Like it's more sophisticated vocabulary because it's more Latin. So we would say just climb up. No?
Yeah.
You
can say
go down.
It's quite formal, isn't it? The numbers are descending. The numbers are going down.
It's quite formal. It's very formal to say that. Okay, so there's any comments about this? Do we have any comments?
Just something from Christine who says, I'm incandescent with anger. That's a collocation that's not very common.
It sounds very...
I like it though.
Yeah, it sounds very poetic because you can, with that word, it seems like you're very red, no?
Yes. You're glowing with anger.
Glowing, yeah.
Hello, Claudia. Claudia's joining us from Argentina also. Shall we go to the D's next?
D's. This is for me. Let's see if I can make it.
That's the second.
Letter D.
Here we are.
Okay. This is funny because it's bridge, puente, bridge. So I omit D, bridge. Handkerchief. There's no hand. It's funny because it should be a hand there. Why do we omit the letter D?
Handkerchief. I don't know. Handkerchief.
Handkerchief. So without the D. No. And hand, I suppose, is a Germanic word that refers to kerchief must be pañuelo and hand. So I don't know why.
Yeah,
make it shorter.
That's logical.
Handkerchief. There are too many consonants together, so we omit one and get it out of there. 3 consonants together. You cannot have that in Spanish. 3 consonants. And then we have the same handsome without the D. Also, I think the reason is because it's very difficult to pronounce there. If you try to pronounce a D, it's more difficult. And it's funny because people in Spanish, we use the word sandwich, but we say sometimes sandwich with D. So because this is the way you spell it in English. It's an English word. So sandwich, without the D, sandwich. Handsome. And this is my favorite one. This is quite difficult to pronounce. For me, it was very difficult to spell this word. Took me a long time to learn to spell Wednesday, because I said, oh, all these letters together. Wednesday, no D, Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. This is today's miércoles, Wednesday.
Mhm.
It's quite difficult to spell it. I wouldn't say to say it, but to spell it is very difficult. Too many consonants together.
It is, and it's always difficult to spell words when you don't hear the letters that you need to write. If you're used to hearing a word and suddenly you have to write it, obviously, if you're not pronouncing every letter, then you don't hear the D's in these letters. You don't know there's a D in the word,
No.
unless you've seen it many times.
Yeah.
So that often happens when you see the word written. Sometimes it's easier to remember the spelling, but if you hear it first, then it's more difficult to spell. Another problem,
it's more difficult. And when I notice that some students, when they start having trouble to write, they tell me, they come back to me and they said, oh, I forgot how to write the words. I said, excellent. That means that you're learning to pronounce, because you get them confused.
That's true.
So René says, I meant easier in terms of pronunciation, like it is easier for your mouth to produce some sounds if you take away some letters. Yes, like in the word Wednesday, we just saw it. And Milton, it is important to keep the meaning even though words are not exactly the same.
Yes, that's true. One thing before we move on with days of the week, apart from Wednesday, sometimes I hear confusion with Tuesday, martes, and Thursday, jueves. Those 2 days are often confused.
Yes, because the sound, sometimes whenever I set the dates for my classes, I usually say them in Spanish. If I think that the student is not understanding the dates, I say, wait. I said, martes y jueves, huh? Ojo. This is not because they confuse the Thursday with Tuesday. But my theory is that when you repeat a word so many times, it gets to a point where you cannot confuse the word because it becomes part of your vocabulary.
Yes.
And this is what I noticed it happened to me. Like, for example, I wouldn't be able to confuse Tuesday with Thursday because I can imagine the day. So the trick is to repeat the word many times until it becomes familiar. It's familiar. So you say Thursday is jueves, Thursday, jueves, Thursday is familiar. So it's impossible to confuse it.
I had a problem with 2 words in Spanish, actually spelling them, and I had to check yesterday. Cerca, I don't know whether to spell it C-I-R-C-A or C-E-R-C-A. Cerca, like close.
Near.
And then I remembered, of course, the trains here in Valencia are called cercanías.
Cercanías, exactly.
And I know how to spell cercanías. I know it's with an E. So making that association of cerca and cercanías, then I know I will remember that cerca close is with an E. It's as simple as making that connection in your mind sometimes, and you remember forever.
Okay.
What does Minia say? In the future, the Spanish will be the same because most of the Spanish speakers are from Andalusia. Are they?
No.
I'm not sure that's true,
Minia. That's in Spain. No.
I don't think most Spanish speakers are from Andalusia. I think people in Mexico and Argentina might have something to say about that.
No.
And sandwich with a D.
And not in English, right? Sí. People say sandwich.
Sandwich.
They put the D, Well, they say anything. Sometimes it's the kind of word that you are free to say whatever because the people...
Yeah, depending on where you're from.
Exactly.
Pronunciations. For example, there are 2 very different pronunciations with Tuesday. I'm from London, the south of England, so I pronounce it the same as Mónica with a ch sound, Tuesday. But you may hear Tuesday with a hard t sound, Tuesday, and with a intrusive y sound in the middle, y, like a Tuesday. also. So depending on the region, the country, the area,
And
you may hear different
sound, where is it
pronunciation.
from?
Pardon?
This hard sound of Tuesday. You said
Tuesday.
that. Where is it from?
I just pronounced, I think in London, the south of England, in the estuary area, estuary English along the Thames River in the southern part of the UK. As far as I know, it's pronounced ch. But in American English, I think it's more common to pronounce it the other way.
Yeah.
Tuesday. But it depends where you're from.
Hit your bets. Okay, now we have, are we going to another set of, this is your turn. Okay,
Yes.
letter G.
G. Some of you may have drunk champagne to celebrate the new year with your grapes, champagne and grapes. So the G in champagne, which of course is a French word, is not pronounced in English pronunciation. Champagne. Did you drink champagne at the new year?
No, I usually don't drink champagne. Well, a little bit, very tiny bit. Yeah, a little bit. Did you drink champagne?
No, not this year. I don't think it was the year for champagne.
No, we did buy a little bottle, I remember, but I am not very good. I cannot drink too much alcohol, so
You just had a sip.
Careful. Yeah, a sip. Yeah, you could say have a sip. So champagne. But here in the word champagne is funny because champagne there is campaign. The G, it's like, it sounds like an I, like the sound of an I. Champagne. It could be like the sound of an I, no?
My dad went to the Spanish doctor a few years ago, and the doctor, he was explaining to the doctor what the problem was, and the doctor said, do you have champagne? And my dad said, no, thank you, I don't drink alcohol. But what the doctor was saying was, do you have some pain? And because of the doctor's pronunciation, it sounded like champagne. Second word, design. Yeah. Design also has a silent G. Design, and the stress is on the second syllable. So design. The design of your flat, the design of your furniture, interior design. And if you're from a different country, like I am, then you are foreign. Another silent G, foreign. The first vowel sound is O, for, and the second vowel sound is foreign.
But not only is silent G, it's silent I too.
Yes.
Like you say foreign. That's it. Foreign. There are two letters that are silent there.
That second vowel sound is really common in English, that sound. Yeah. It's the sound I make on Monday morning when I wake up for work and I think of my work and I go, something I don't want to do. And it's really common. This is a pen, teacher, sister, computer, foreign. It's everywhere in English. So try to work on that sound, foreign. Next one is alto, hi. It's the same as hi, hello, hi. Exactly the same pronunciation. So the G is silent and the H is silent.
The H is also silent, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
kings and queens, reign. It's a verb and a noun. And the pronunciation is exactly the same as lluvia in English, rain. The reign of Queen Elizabeth. The reign of the King of Spain, for example. So that's another silent G. And exactly the same pronunciation as R-A-I-N. Which, if you look in a dictionary, you'll see the phonetic symbols, and that will tell you exactly how to pronounce the word. So when you look at R-A-I-N, you see the same phonetic symbols as R-E-I-G-N, rain. So what's your opinion, Monica, with your students? Do you suggest that they learn phonetic symbols? Because some teachers say it's a lot of time, a lot of effort. Maybe that time is better spent learning grammar or vocabulary. What's your opinion on those phonetic symbols? You think they're a good idea?
No, I never encourage students to learn phonetic symbols because I find it that is more just using the language than studying it, and just trying to imitate the sounds using similar sounds, but not the phonetics, because I find that it's too much time dedicated to something that I don't know if it's going to be so useful. Because let me put it another way: that what you need is to speak fluently, most of the time. Many times you are going to make mistakes with the pronunciation, and pronunciation sometimes is very, very important, because if you don't understand the person, then it's very important. So, for example, one mispronunciation that can create a problem. I'll give you an example. Yogur. People say yogur, and they cannot recognize the sound. They say, "Why? I'm saying it right, because this is the way you spell it, right?" Said, "No, because you're saying je. That's a very important sound here. There's a very big difference. Is yogurt is with a I, it's like the I, and then I say it's like the I. But if I start saying, no, go to the phonetic, no, okay, this is important. You have to remember that. But if you go to the phonetics, you have to study another alphabet. And I don't know. I am not in favor of studying phonetics. You study the sounds and approximate pronunciation, more or less combining or giving examples of words. And you, what do you do?
It depends. I used to teach it in class, but what's happened now with the way the classes are structured in the academy where I work, there's no consistency with the students. So if you teach the sounds, maybe in the next class you're going to get different students who weren't at the previous lesson who don't know the sounds. So I use it sometimes as an aid, as a help for the students who already know the symbols. So I use it very, very quickly sometimes to say, if you know the symbol, this is it. And that helps the students who know it. But I don't spend a lot of time on it. My advice is, I think it's good to know them, because it really helps you in the dictionary to know exactly how to say a word if you're studying by yourself. But I don't teach it as a teacher for that reason. It's very time consuming to teach it. And I agree with you that you could maybe spend the time on something else. And just by you saying the word and modeling the word will help the student pronounce it. But if a student's doing a lot of self-study and studying by themselves, I think it's really, really useful. It's a good...
But I myself as a teacher, I started to study phonetics myself, because when I started teaching, I realized how important it was to know the difference. But I know myself, for example, most of the letters, I know all the phonetics, but this is something for myself, because I want to know more about the language, you know? And in English is very important. And then I explain, for example, if you see a little roof, for example, I always say, well, if you see a little roof, for example, there's no, I call it the del tonto, no? There's sun, or so this is a sound we don't have in Spanish, for example. The little roof is not a sound that exists. Let's see, there are some comments.
Some comments. Yeah, let's go
many comments.
Christine, who is asking, is the D in hedge silent? It's the DG, Christine, that gives the J sound in many words, like in January, July, jump, jealous, that J sound. And it's the same in judge, for example, that DG, J. So hedge, judge, and there are a few more. Just try imagine DG as a J, a J, or a hard G sound. Yeah. What else do we have? Minia explained more when she said that the Andalusia people, the most populated region in Spain is Andalusia. I did not know that. But that makes sense, because it's a really huge...
Yeah, it's a very big area.
Very big area in Andalusia. So yeah, that makes sense, that most populated region, almost 9 million people. Okay. And Milton said correctly that the sound I was making before that, is called the schwa. Yeah, it's the sound. The schwa. And what does reign mean? As a verb, it means reinar, doesn't it, in Spanish?
Right, reinar. As a verb. It's reinar.
And it's also a noun, the reign of the king or the reign of the...
Reinado.
Yeah. Any other comments?
Okay.
Milton's agreeing with you, Monica, saying that communication's more relevant. I think so, yeah. I think the time is better spent with communication. I love you too, Jen.
Yeah, you have there a big fan. You have a big fan. Great, I love you.
Okay, let's move on.
Let's move on. Okay, next one.
What comes after G?
Yes, H is silent.
H.
H. Okay, sometimes, and this is funny because in American English, sometimes this WH, like where, sometimes they do pronounce this sound. White. Yeah.
Where are you?
But I don't usually do that. Which?
Me neither.
No, I don't do that.
But one big mistake with which is forgetting to write the H when you're spelling.
Yeah.
And I see this time and time again with Spanish students writing which incorrectly, W-I-C-H.
Because the sound already, you have the sound without the H. You don't need the H for anything. Exactly. It's silent, like in Spanish.
Yeah.
And then the next word is funny because a lot of people say chaos. And I say, no, this is a Greek word that comes from, Greeks. And the pronunciation, when the word comes from Greek in English is chaos. Que. It's como k. It's strong. It's not, that's why it's silent, the H, no? Well, it's actually like a K. Chaos, chaos. So the Greek word here, chaos, is the same word in Spanish. It's like choir, coro, has the same problem.
Choir, yeah.
CH is not pronounced. It's not chaos. Okay, the same thing happens with, and these are all Greek words. Architect is a K. Architect, no architect. Okay, so chemistry, química, the same thing. And hour, completely. This is easy to remember because in Spanish it's the same. No silent, and it's probably to distinguish from our name, for example, possessive adjective, our, nuestro. So our and our, the spelling is different only with the H, no? H, our. So which, chaos, architect, chemistry, and our. H doesn't exist here, okay? Like in Spanish. So Minia said, tired, horrible, remember? Yeah.
One or two things about those words. Architect is interesting because if you look at ARCH, arco, then you do pronounce the CH as a ch.
Yes, archery.
But that changes with the word architect. I don't know why. Architect.
Exactly.
And chemistry is a word I constantly hear mispronounced by Spanish speakers. That CH. I hear chemistry very often, or chemist. It's k. It's a hard k, chemist. And one thing about our, when you use an article, an a or an an, usually the rule I hear is use an before a word that begins with a vowel. Like an architect, for example, because a is a vowel. But look at our. Our begins with an H, but you say an hour, not a hour. So it's the sound.
It's the sound that counts. Yeah,
it's the sound, not the letter.
Same as with university. No?
Exactly, university.
Because the university is a consonant sound. It's not a vowel sound there.
A university.
Yeah. It's not an university, but a university. Okay, which, chaos, architect, chemistry, and our.
Minia said choir, horrible. Yeah, it's a horrible word to remember. Choir and chaos are difficult words. Next we have the letter K.
Oh, this is quite easy. And it's funny words, huh? Knickers. This is a word that I never use because this is a British word.
Is it bragas in Spanish?
Bragas, yeah. But in American English, it's underwear. But knickers is a British word because I never learned that word until I started listening to British English. Knee. So, well, you could say knee.
Yeah, knee is what's knee in Spanish?
Rodilla.
Rodilla. Knee is rodilla. So again, silent K. My knee hurts. I have a problem with my knee. I have weak knees. And the same with knickers, silent K. And knickers will be underwear for women. And pants is the British word for male underwear. So men wear pants under their trousers and ladies wear knickers. And knob is like a handle for a door. You have a doorknob, again, silent K, which you turn. So you turn the knob to open the door. And here are your knuckles. Your knuckles, silent K. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 knuckles on your hand when you make a fist. You can see your knuckles. And night is exactly the same pronunciation as noche. So night without a K is exactly the same as with a K, but you know the difference from the context. Knight is caballero. So you have knights defending the king, for example. Or if you play chess, you have the knights which move diagonally on the board. And again, silent K with knight. So knee, knickers, knob, knuckle, and knight.
Here it's very easy because there's a rule. There's obviously a pattern. And whenever is the combination of K and N, any word that starts with K and an N followed by an N, is the K in this case is silent. It's the same for to know, new.
Emma has another example, new.
Past tense of know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Christine says you had better, without no two, you had better knuckle down if you want to pass the exam. Ponerse las pilas. Yeah, knuckle down, work hard, get serious, do the work, knuckle down. Good phrasal verb.
Milton has a question, and somebody else I saw, Ruth has a question. This article is sometimes pronounced as, e.g., as I. There is a fire falling in the deep. Why?
I. So the I is pronounced as. There's something called the magic E, which changes the vowel sound in a word like fire. Let me think of a better example.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think of a good example. I'll think of one later, Milton, and I'll explain a bit better. Yeah, without two, Christine. So after had better, no infinitive without two. You had better do this. You had better buy a bigger house. You had better sell your car, for example. So no two.
Ruth is asking about university.
Ruth is
I am not sure if I have heard it right. Here is without the intention, because you hear a sound or a noise, no, and listening to pay attention. Have you said that I should say a university instead of an? Yes, I've said a university.
A university, because it's a Y sound. It's a y
because
sound.
It's a consonant. It's a consonant sound, not a vowel sound.
It's like the word yellow as the adjective yellow. Exactly. You'd say a yellow car. You wouldn't say an yellow car. So the y sound in yellow is the same as university.
Okay.
Okay, moving on then from
moving
K
on
to
fire,
L.
higher. I don't know the question. See, what do you have? This is a good one. Good one. My God, this good one, because creates a lot of trouble. This creates a lot of trouble because I said, Look at that word. I say to you, look at that word. You see all those vowels and but it's only three letters. Would. It's like W-U-D. Everything else is something that is not useful for the pronunciation of the word. So would. The same happens with the word half. We don't say half. We say half. Half the time we are half of the time we are answering questions. Half of the time we are explaining, and half of the time we are answering questions. For example. And this one is very, very difficult because in Spanish it's the same word. It's exactly the same word. So you have a tendency to say salmon, no? Sal.
Yeah.
So salmon. It's
the same word in Spanish, but you pronounce the L
salmon,
in Spanish.
Salmon. And then we have the word yolk. And then you will say, what is the difference between this and chiste? Anybody knows? Joke and yolk. One is with a Y, so it's like the letter E in Spanish. This one is like when I said before yogurt, it was E, not yogurt. And joke, no, joke, chiste. So this would be yolk without the L and with an E. Okay. ¿Qué significa? What is the meaning of this? Does anybody know?
Of yolk?
Yes, it's part of the egg.
I think I know the Spanish word. Is it
okay.
yema?
Yema.
Yema.
Yema. Yeah, correct. Yema. The egg white, clara, egg white, and yolk. To cook is very useful for making, I don't know, scrambled eggs. So
salmon is my favorite fish. I love salmon.
Me too. I like it too. It's very nutritious. And again with the word would, one tip I read somewhere and I thought this is a very good tip is you have to put the mouth as if you were going to give a kiss. Would. Without using the throat, because in Spanish we don't have that. We have all the letters are using the throat. That's why it's so difficult. So, but if you try to give a kiss, and then you try to say would, like a nu, would, then it comes out. Then it's the right sound, okay?
And also remember that it's exactly the same pronunciation as wood, madera. W-O-O-D.
Another fun fact.
Exactly the same pronunciation.
Un hecho gracioso. Fun fact, wood and wood are the same. Madera y wood and the conditional.
I want to go back to that question we had before with
you were looking up the question
I
didn't understand the question, to be honest.
I said something about the magic E, which changes the pronunciation. I've written some examples here. The name Tim, you have a vowel sound I, like in, but if you put the E on the end, the it changes to a longer vowel sound I. Time. The same with Sam, the name changes to same, a different vowel sound. Tap, to tap on the microphone, changes to tape. So that E at the end of those 4-letter words changes the vowel sound. And that's true with many, many words in English. Hema loves salmon too. My favorite word, would. It's very common. Yeah, it's very common, Minya. Would you like? Okay. Let's move on to the next group, which is P, I think. The letter P. So silent P in psychology. Psychology. Is that going from right to left? No, it's that way, isn't it? Psychology. So you've got 4 syllables in that word. The P is silent. And the stress is on the second syllable. Psychology. Psychology. So you can repeat it with me. Psychology. And also receipt. That CEIPT is really difficult. Just think of seat is where you sit down. You sit down on a seat, 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 and put re in front of it. Receipt. That's it. The stress is on the second syllable, receipt. And receipt is, you'd say in Spanish, ticket or recibo. But ticket we don't use in the same way in English. Yes, there is an English word ticket, but it's used for travel, like a plane ticket, a bus ticket, or a concert ticket, for example. And receipt is the piece of paper you get when you buy something in a supermarket or a shop. And the last one, pneumonia. 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 Exactly the same stress pattern as psychology, pneumonia. 4 syllables, pneumonia.
All these are, except for receipt, these are words, medicine. They come from medicine and they're Greek.
Greek.
And it's the same in Spanish because we have psychology. You write it with a P, but you don't pronounce the P. And pneumonia in Spanish lost the P, actually. Pneumonia. It lost the P, but it comes from Greek also.
And the stress changes. Can you say it in Spanish again?
Yeah.
Pneumonia.
Yeah.
Pneumonia. It's different stress.
Pneumonia. But this is something also, this is another fight with the students, especially with the word Catholic. I always say, no, it's not Catholic. Catholic. So it's the same here. Pneumonia, not pneumonia.
That's interesting because Catholic is a word wherein with native speakers, some native speakers might pronounce it with 3 syllables as you did, and some native speakers pronounce it with 2. I say Catholic, 2 syllables.
Yeah, even shorter.
But I hear, many
Catholic.
native speakers say Catholic. Yeah.
Yeah. But the problem with the Spanish speakers is not that. The problem is the stress. I am Catholic. I am Catholic. And I said, no.
No,
you're not
you're
Catholic. You're Catholic.
Catholic.
So.
T.
There's a good question by Milton. This is, is this my turn now? Yes, it's my turn.
Let's look at Milton's question.
This is a good question. Sorry, ask again. You can read it aloud.
Yeah, Milton's asking, sorry to ask again. That's okay, Milton. That's why we're here. Ask as many questions as you like. I've already found a comment I've found a comment in which a teacher says the article a or is pronounced a to emphasize. Right. Is it true?
Correct. Like, for example, yes, when you speak slowly.
And it's sometimes for emphasis, Milton, but it's also more often because in connected speech, when the article a is in the middle of an expression, it's one of the words that's very weak. It's muy débil. So, for example, if you say a pint of beer, I would say a pint of beer.
Short sound. You would put a short sound there because
this is a pen. This is a pen. I would not say this is a pen. This is a pen. So usually it's pronounced weak because it's an article and because it's a grammar word and it doesn't have as much importance in the sentence. Of course, in Spanish, that's not true. In Spanish, you give weight to every word in Spanish, but in English, only the message words, the words with meaning, the verbs, the nouns, the adjectives, the adverbs, those words are often stressed more than grammar words like articles.
But I have heard some people when they want to emphasize, it's true what he's saying, because it's when they want to emphasize something and they speak slowly, they say it a instead of so it says a man that I saw.
Or maybe I had such a shock when it happened, or
exactly.
I had such a surprise.
Shock. Yeah.
Because you're emphasizing
like that, because you want the person to understand exactly what you're saying. And that's why you speak. And it's usually very slowly. You speak very slowly, so that every letter is pronounced.
Exactly.
Okay.
Orlando's
now,
saying that chocolate, it's like chocolate. I think you mean, Orlando, with the 2 syllables. Very good.
yeah,
Most Spanish
okay.
speakers have 3-syllable pronunciation with
Yeah.
chocolate. No, it's only 2. Chocolate, chocolate.
Yeah,
2
the
syllables.
problem is in Spanish that would be 4 syllables. Chocolate.
Yes.
And then somebody tells you, no, there's only 3. And they say, why? The word is the same. Because it's exactly the same word.
Christine says cupboard has 2 silent consonants. You're right. Cupboard. And again, that OA in the second syllable is the schwa sound. Cupboard. Cupboard.
Cupboard.
Kitchen cupboard.
Well, that's British. Okay, let's see. Castle. And here, this is a funny, this is something that is, at least I hear it like this. In the first words, like little, it's like the L goes at the end. Instead of being, there's some weird combination of sounds that somehow the L is not before the E, but after the E. So it's castle, and the T is silent. And then listen to me, not listen. Often here I have a problem. Some people.
Yes, me too. I had a problem with this.
I usually say often. I say the T.
Yeah, I think you can say both ways. You can say with a silent T or pronounced T. I say often, but I've heard many native speakers say often.
Often. I often do that.
Yeah.
And fasten. This is a word that
fasten your seatbelt.
Yeah, exactly. You hear it. I was going to say that this is a typical speech that you hear every time you go on a plane, because this is a speech they teach you to. They give you instructions when you get on the plane, and they say fasten your seatbelt. The reason why here is like an S, because it comes from German. This word comes from German, que significa, that means ajustarse, and in German is with an S, and that's why. Probably that's the reason. Many of these words are Germanic words, and so they have other spelling in their original language. Fasten.
More words with that kind of ST. Christine saying, I really enjoy the hustle and bustle of big cities.
Hustle also.
I didn't know how to, in Spanish, in my dictionary, it's saying ajetreo.
Sí, ajetreo.
Trajín.
Trajín, correct.
Hustle and bustle of the market in the morning.
Yeah.
A hustle and bustle of the city.
Of big cities. Yeah.
Okay. So you. One of my favorite words after chocolate is biscuit. 2 syllables. Especially when you put 2 together, you have chocolate biscuit. So yeah, the CUIT is pronounced I. Biscuit. The U is silent. Biscuit. And it's the same vowel sound. I. Biscuit. Biscuit. Second word, guess. No U sound. So sometimes I hear Spanish speakers try to say guess. No, it's guess. Guess. I guess so. Guess what I had for dinner. And guitar is the same. Is the stress on the second syllable in Spanish when you say, is it guitar or guitar?
Guitarra.
Oh, it's guitarra, of course. It's guitarra. It's 3 syllables. Guitarra. In English, guitar. So I stress the second syllable. Guitar. And guide, if you go around a city with someone who knows the city and explains things to you, that person is called a tour guide. Or if you have a book, that's a guidebook. And building, the U is silent in building. It's just B-I-L-D, build, building. These tall buildings, or the word we had at the beginning, high. In Madrid, there are many high buildings. Any comments on those words, Monica?
No. Well, building, you have to see, this is a very weird word, because you have to tell the people, no, the U has no sound. and the building and the builder, and to build, construir, no? Build. And in fact, the past tense and the past participle, they also have the U, but doesn't have a sound. Built. It's with the T. Yeah, it's with the T at the end. No, built. So,
correct. Christine has another example of that silent U. She says, "What about circuit?" Circuit. Yeah. Here though, the first I is an It's a long vowel sound. Like turn or nurse. Nurse. Circuit. Yeah, we are giving you common examples here. Of course, there are many more examples of these words. So if you can think of more examples, please write them in the chat room. And Minio is a tour guide. Well, I didn't know that.
No, he told us. I remember in Cordoba.
We've spoken. It's not Minio, it's Rafa.
Spoke with him, and he said he's
I remember Rafa.
Cordoba.
Yeah, he's in Cordoba. Hi, Rafa. I was looking at the first word, Minia, and I didn't recognize the name. It's Rafa. Yeah. Hello, Rafa. Yeah. I apologize. And the last letter is W.
Oh, that's for me.
That's for you.
Yeah. Sword, espada, sword. So they're silent. Well, when it is at the beginning, it's very easy, because when it's not at the beginning, then you have a doubt, because it could be a U. It could be pronounced like a vowel sound. No, sometimes it is. But in this case, sword, espada, sword. The people that play games, online games, probably they know this word, because you need a sword or you need a shield. This kind of vocabulary, you know. Wrap, envolver, wrap. Here we don't pronounce the W, okay?
The same as rap music.
Yes, exactly the same sound. And then you have wrinkle, arrugas, wrinkle. You don't pronounce the W. Wrist. This is my wrist. In Spanish is a funny word, you know, because it's wrist. Yes, it's like doll, muñeca. And wrong, very easy. Okay, it's very easy. If you have a W at the beginning and then you have an R, there's a pattern, and is that the W is silent. In the case of sword, that's another story that you have to learn, because it's a different pattern. Okay, so another comment. Any comment about that? Any comment about any of these words?
No, I think you've explained exceptionally well. Orlando's saying ceiling, but I'm not sure if you mean the ceiling like techo of the house with a C. That's C-E-I-L-I-N-G, ceiling.
No, but ceiling is sellar, no? Does it mean ceiling is to seal something?
Yeah, that means sellar.
Yeah.
Answer. Also.
Yeah, correct, Christine. Very good. Very good observation. Correct. And this is one of the first things, because answer is a word of beginners. It's one of the first words you learn in English. And I immediately notice when somebody is a very true beginner, that they say answer. I answer. And I said, no. It's answer. Forget about the W.
Right. And it's also a word with the
Pedro.
schwa at the end. So answer. It's that sound. Answer.
And right. Pedro says right. Yes, right. It's correct. Also the same. Right. Written is the same. W doesn't sound. Pattern, W-R. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's in the middle.
Exactly.
So that's it.
So that's it. That's all we have for you. We've gone from B to W and given you some examples of some of the most common silent words in English. We hope that was useful for you and that you enjoyed that. Monica, shall we end it there, or do you want to finish with any final comments?
No, I think it was good. It's a very good review. And we talked a lot about pronunciation, which is quite important. So I think it's a very good class. I thought as myself that it was a good class. I don't know about you, but
If people want to study with you, Monica, how can they reach you?
You can go to EPI, which is, well, you can go to Blog del Inglés, and there you'll find a link for the classes. And the company is called EPI. So El Blog is the acronym of El Blog para Aprender Inglés.com. And there you can find native teachers that will teach you English over Skype or Zoom or any other similar platform. And you can have personalized classes, tailor-made for you. Okay?
And I'm Craig from Mansion Inglés. And if you are a Spanish speaker and you'd like to improve your pronunciation, we do have a short course that you might be interested in. It's English pronunciation for Spanish speakers, which of course includes these silent letters and also other things we've spoken about, like single syllable stress on words, differences with vowel sounds like cut and cat, for example, or chip and cheap, those difficult words that Spanish speakers sometimes have problems with. So if you're interested to have a look at that, over at mansioningles.com. I'll put the link in the chat room for you, and you can go and read more about it. Thanks very much for being with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure to see you all again after our Christmas break, and we'll be back next week. Hopefully Lynn will be joining me, and Monica, I hope we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yes, Pedro's asking if we meet regularly. Yeah, every week. Craig is every week on Wednesdays, 8 o'clock, and Lynn and I, we alternate. One week. Next week is Lynn, and then is myself. Sometimes we do it on my page, EPI's Facebook. Okay, so every week you're going to have an event, one of these Facebook lives.
Yeah, so next week it will be here on the same Mansion English Facebook page, and then the week after it will be on Monica's page, but we always put links in Twitter and on our Facebook pages for you to find us, because sometimes we move. We move from place to place.
Yeah.
So thanks again for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. Stay safe, have a good week, and keep practicing your English, and be careful of those silent letters.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.